Your dancing is stagnating and you don't know why. Hello all you beautiful dancers. Thank you so much for joining me in this video. You're on the path with me. We're growing, we're learning about ourselves. Self-discovery through dancing. What a beautiful journey it is. In my dance journey, I realized there were times where, now that I look back on it, there were times when I felt like I was stagnating. I felt like I wasn't really growing. I wasn't really learning very much. There were times in my dance journey where my students themselves seemed to have been reaching some type of ceiling that was blocking them from developing the dancing. And so what I figured out was actually that, like in life, everything is cyclical, right? Everything's like a circle. What happens is when we start our dancing experience, let's say we start at this point here. Given the starting point here, if you consider a cycle that continues like that all the way around, it somehow comes back to the beginning point all over again. There's a cool way that you can think about this. Think about this for the purpose of partner dancing. Salsa, bachata, kizomba. One can think about the cycle in three parts. So this would be the point of beginning, but this is also the point of the ending, all right? And then there's all this other part of the cycle, which is the learning process itself. So you can say that there are 3 points to this cycle, which is the beginning, the learning process itself, and the ending of that cycle. Once you complete that one cycle, you will then be able to hopefully understand, or with the guidance of your instructor, find your next cycle, where you can start, commence this learning process and then end that cycle. And what you'll learn over time is that there are just multiple cycles that continue through your dancing experience and that get you further and further along your journey. That there are 3 main things that we're focusing on. The first one, maybe not the first one, but one of them is the process of self-discovery, self-evaluation, self-awareness, where we focus on our own movements, understanding connection between our arms and our legs, counterbalance, balance itself, weight distribution, center. All these things are a part of the process of learning about the self. There are a lot more points to this journey, but those are just some examples for now. Then we have the section of communication, where we actually are focusing on the connection with somebody else. Whether you're a lead or follow, this is a big part of what we're doing in partner dancing styles, is learning how to communicate with another person and to be able to share space with the other person, to move within flow with another person, to lead and to follow. And those are some examples of that process on its own. There are many more, again, to be discovered. And again, I don't want to inundate you with too much information, but I think that you get the idea. And then the third part is the connection to the music, all right? And the music side of things can start off from something as simple as just finding the beats and the grooves, and then focusing on different instrumentation and finding out more about polyrhythms and all sort of things related to music. Now, when a person starts dancing in the beginning, as a newbie, as a first timer, we kind of jumble all these 3 things together, and because of course the beginner doesn't really understand too much depth and detail of what the process is about, so it's a little bit of learning about the body and the movements and the coordination, and then having a partner in front of you, and then the teacher's counting the beats, and so the beats are sort of like a substitute for the music, but you count along, and so you learn how to dance, and so the process begins. And then after we gain a lot of confidence and experience in that first cycle, the moment comes where we discover, maybe by watching a video that somebody had recorded, let's say a friend recorded a video at the social, and you look at that video and you realize, damn, I don't look the way I expected that I would look. I was hoping that I would look much better after this process of learning, but I don't like my movement there. I don't like my posture. That's usually the moment when our first cycle comes to its completion. And because then the awareness comes back to self. because a lot of the time when we're learning partner dancing, we put a lot of emphasis onto the actual partnering communication, and we tend to neglect the process of self-awareness, and through the self-awareness really comes the aesthetic, comes the good-looking dancer that we all wish that we would be. And also we start to ask more questions about the music, like why are we dancing on this timing? What is that rhythm that's happening there? I'm not sure what I'm listening to. So all these questions start to come about once we gain confidence in the first cycle, and so then begins the second cycle. And so the more we start to gain self-awareness and body awareness and balance, all that type of stuff, and the more we get communication with a partner, the more we understand the music, it starts to open up the spaces separately for all three of those. If you think of dancing as a linear experience, where you're starting from the very beginning and over time you just go and go and go and go, and if you're resilient enough and you put enough time and money and effort into it, eventually you'll arrive. And unfortunately it's not like that. Any dance teacher will tell you that there's no arrival point actually. Having said that, and in summary, just think of it, everything is cycles. You're in a cycle right now in your dance experience, and at that moment when you start to feel like things are slowing down a little bit, and you don't feel like you're learning very much more, don't stop going to classes. So yeah, I hope that was useful for you, and if you found some value in this video, please give it a thumbs up, share it with some friends that you think might get some value from it, subscribe to the channel, of course, check out these videos over here. And of course, if you have any topics that you would like me to speak about next time, if you have any comments about what this video is about, any questions, whatever like that, drop it in the comment section below. I would love to see it. I will read all of your comments, I promise you, and I look forward to hearing from you. So until then, until the next video at least, keep dancing.